Hey guys, it's Casey from IGN. I am with Ryan Schneider, who is head of marketing and community at Insomniac, and we're checking out Fuse.
Cool, great to be here, and thanks for giving us an opportunity to show it off. We're playing Echelon mode right now, which is something that we call competitive. It looks like it is a Horde mode, but it's got a nice wrinkle of it's a little more offensive in nature. It gets compared internally a lot to Smash TV. It's got 6 different maps, 6 different objectives. We're looking at the map in the Karakoram Mountains, otherwise known as Raven-based, and we're in the first of 12 waves.
Okay, so this is, you said it's competitive. What does that mean? Is that just like a fancy marketing term? Or
No, I'm glad you asked. Competitive to us, like Fuse, taking a step back, Fuse is meant to be a 4-player co-op cover-based shooter. It's not a shooter with co-op. It's really built around co-op and working together. It's built around this concept that we're calling lethal teamwork. And that is carried through from campaign into Echelon mode. But at the same time, we know people like to beat up on each other in multiplayer. So we have a wrinkle through what we're calling Fuse credits. And when you go after Fuse credits, it's first come, first serve, and you can, once you grab those, you can use it for team perks and to customize your character and your weapon. So it's that combination of teamwork as well as fend for yourself that makes it competitive.
Okay, so we're in Wave 2 right now, and we're trying to take down this high-value target. Talk a little bit about that, like what's happening right now.
Sure. In high-value target, it's actually one of my favorite objectives. You need to kill that high-value target. The quicker you do it and get rid of him, well, basically, let me back up.
I mean, it's like a boss fight or something,
It
right?
It is, though. I should add, the rounds are randomized, so with the exception of round 6 and round 12, which are boss battles. So this actually isn't even a boss battle, but what's happening is the longer it takes for you to get rid of this high-value target, the more enemies he's spawning. So it really is a timing challenge. And that's what's happening here. They've almost got him destroyed here, it looks like. So, but the longer it takes, the more enemies he'll fire back out at you, or the more enemies he'll summon is a better way to put it.
Okay, so it's 4-player co-op.
Mm-hmm.
Talk a little bit about this character that we're playing as right now. Who is this?
This is Naya Devereaux, and she's got an interesting story in Fuse. Her father is high up in the paramilitary organization. He's an assassin, and he trained her to be an assassin as well. Now, each of our 4 heroes, the members of Overstrike 9, have their own Xenotech weapon that they discovered deep in this government facility, and that's how the game opens. Naya's got the Warp Rifle, which combines antimatter and this alien powerful substance known as Fuse, which the whole game is built around. And what her weapon does is it basically, once you paint enemies with it, it triggers singularities or black holes. What's cool about that weapon...
Is that what we're seeing right there?
Yeah, that's right. And what's great that you saw also is that it can chain together reactions. And we have secondary fire in all of our weapons as well, and she just triggered her stealth mode. And that's obviously great for flanking. What's cool, though, in the game, in this particular demo, we've unlocked a lot because I should point out Echelon is extremely difficult, and we found that gamers actually prefer that when they get their hands on it. But in the actual game, you'll need to unlock that skill. We've got a very deep skill tree. We've got unified progression across both the campaign and Echelon mode, which helps. And as Naya just ran by and picked up those coins, those are where she's collecting Fuse credits as well.
And what do you use the Fuse credits for?
Use the Fuse credits for team perks, which, as the name would imply, benefit the entire group, as well as you can customize your character further, as well as your weapon skins. So what's really great is when you're playing with people who really know what they're doing and they're each taking unique team perks, that your collective experience will be that much stronger. However, I should also point out that even though this is built around 4-player co-op, what's really cool for me is this feature called Leap. I can play other class-based shooters out there, and I got to pick one character, and I've got to stick with that character all the way through. But in Fuse, I can change simultaneously. I can change from, we've got our area of effect, specialist here in Izzy with the shatter gun, and if I just need to really just get out in front of a situation and support my teammates, I can switch to Dalton. If I want to snipe from afar, which might be a good opportunity here, I can go with Jacob and his arc shot. Though Izzy is great because she's the healer of the group. She just threw out a med beacon, and that helps as well.
So now leaping, you can just jump from either character to either character if you're playing by yourself. If you're playing with other people, obviously everybody's...
As long as there's one AI bot to leap into, you can do it with 3 players, for instance. You can do it with 2 players. You could play 2-player couch co-op. You could play 2-player... I mean, that's what's happening here. We've got 2 players playing and 2-player AI. We've really worked hard on the AI to be responsive and truly intelligent. We think we've done a solid job with that so far.
So now this guy, this is Dalton?
This is Dalton with the mag shield.
And so he's kind of like the tank.
That's right. That's right. He's the tank. His secondary fire on the mag shield is he can deploy shields, which you saw him do just there.
How many of those can he drop at a time?
It depends on how long the timer, how much ammo you have, and how long you have with the timer. But what's happening right now that I want to quickly point out is fusion mode. The more XP you're racking up through the game, the more you're building your fuse meter, if you will. And once you do that, you get to a point where you fill your fusion meter, and you really just get to wreck face for a short amount of time. Essentially, infinite ammo, and even if you're low on fuse ammo, it won't matter in that situation. The fire rate is accelerated, so it's super cool. This objective here is basically a defense mission. It's super difficult. You really need Dalton to take over from a strategy standpoint and make sure that you're keeping the front assault handled while the rest of your team needs to work together so you don't get flanked.
And you said originally that you were trying to kind of do something different with Horde mode, so it's not just defending things?
That's right.
It seems like we've been in the same spot kind of defending stuff. Where does the offensive stuff come in? Are we going to be pushing to new areas?
Yeah, there are multiple spawn points throughout the map. So it really just it does depend on the mission, but there are offensive missions in mind. It just so happens, you got to keep in mind that the rounds are randomized, so it can change on the fly.
Okay, gotcha. So now when he has his mag shield up, what's his attack ability? It looks like he's charging something and it's shooting some sort of...
Great question. Now with the mag shield is ferrofluid combined with fused substance, and what it allows...
Ferrofluid.
Duh.
That makes perfect sense.
It does. So what he's able to do is absorb that ammo and then blast it back out at his enemies. So it just liquefies them. It's a super cool feature. Yeah.
What was that thing that he just rolled into that had the little cash signs?
Oh, those are the fuse credits. So those are first come, first serve, and Dalton was trying to grab those unsuccessfully in that instance.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so we got a bunch of different takedowns in fuse as well, so close quarters combat is really satisfying, we think, in the game. And of course, I should point out, by the way, you saw just briefly, you saw the weapons menu came up. You're not confined to just playing with the fuse weapons, though we love those weapons and we love crazy weapons at Insomniac. Like, we do have standard weapons. We do have your shotguns, your pistols, your rocket launchers, your flamethrowers, and you can upgrade them as well. So you can choose up to 3 weapons. You'll have 3 weapons on you at all times. One of them is typically for a one-armed weapon, and the other one is like an assault rifle of some shape or form.
But the fuse weapon you're talking about, the Xenotech weapon, that's specific to each character class, and then they have upgrades that sort of coincide with that specific character for that weapon.
That is correct.
So now who's this guy?
So this is Jacob Kimball. Jacob's a former homicide detective. He was known for kind of taking justice into his own hands, got kicked out of the force.
Is that because he used a crossbow on the job?
Among other things.
That'll do it, right?
Yeah.
Well, what happened to him?
This is Wave 6. This is a boss battle. Right now, he's been tethered, and this is a bad moment where if they don't save Jacob, everybody's going to wipe. And saving a beauty, Dalton got him, it looked like, so that was a good example of teamwork there. But back to Jacob. Jacob uses the arc shot. It's liquid mercury, shoots out with that crossbow. It impales enemies, which is super fun. It also sets traps when you use a secondary fire. I particularly like doing that because it's almost like having the benefit of grenades in terms of how much damage it can actually do. And if you can't be totally precise in having the best angle to snipe with, then it's a great opportunity to be able to do the same kind of damage. And again, you unlock those secondary fires throughout the game. So you don't have that all at once. But we wanted to give people, for this particular demo, plenty of toys to play with.
So for this mode, how many waves does it go to?
There are 12. There are 12 waves, and all but 2 of them are randomized. These guys are actually doing really well. This particular demo, it's a little long in the tooth, like I mentioned.
Long in the tooth meaning it's a little old?
Yeah. Our code is looking fantastic. We're going to be showing more off in the next couple weeks. But this particular mode is really tough. We've shown this in Europe and at a recent event in New York. And wave 6 and 7, I think, were the high points where people got maybe a little bit more, but these guys are doing really well so far.
So tell us when the game's coming out and for what platforms.
Sure. Fused is going to be coming out for the 360 and PS3 this spring. We'll be announcing our official date in just a little bit.
Cool. Well, thanks so much for showing us the game. Appreciate it.
Cool. Thanks, Casey.
For more on all things Fuse and Insomniac, keep it tuned to IGN.